Here are 5 things I implemented in my dating life that ultimately led me to my partner. And this is coming from somebody who has insane anxious attachment style and literally couldn't even get through a day without napping because the anxiety was so overwhelming. First thing I did was I stopped focusing on bullshit like how often are they texting me, and I started focusing on important things like how often are we seeing each other, what's the depth of our conversation, and is this person having open and honest communication with me. Prior to meeting Tech Guy, I dated a really avoidant dude, and he had no problem texting me every day and calling me and making plans, but anytime we would talk about anything more serious or relationship stuff, he would either shut down or close up, and sure enough, 2 months in, it was the I can't do this. So when I started dating Tech Guy, I realized, okay, the texting doesn't really matter. I want to see how someone is going to show up for me. Are they making plans? What's the depth of these plans? Are we communicating? Are we having communication? Are we open? 2, I stopped expecting people to read my fucking mind, and I started to learn how to communicate. I set boundaries. I learned that boundaries were safe and secure for me to set because I allowed myself to make them safe and secure. Growing up, I was terrified I was going to lose somebody if I set a boundary. And now I realize I wasn't scared of losing anybody because if me setting one and someone running, then see you the fuck later. 3, we went really fucking slow. I'm not saying go slow as an excuse for bad behavior, but what I mean is instead of meeting friends and family after one date, we ended up just spending 2 or 3 months together before we started introducing each other to our friends. We weren't texting every single day. We weren't making all these crazy future plans. We were really just focused on every single date, just seeing what was going to happen. 4, I started to detach from the outcome. For years, I wanted to be saved. So every time it didn't work out, I felt I was further and further away from somebody coming to choose me until I realized I had to save myself and I had to choose myself. So then when I was dating, I didn't really give a shit at this point if somebody was going to walk away or someone was going to leave me. So I started to date with that attachment. If it works out, great, then this is meant to be. And if it's not, that's okay. I'm not going to force something that's not meant to happen. And the 5th one, I started calling myself out on my bullshit. No, it wasn't everybody else's problem as to why I wasn't meeting the person that I wanted to meet. It was a lot that had to do with myself. You might think, oh, well, I'm not anxious to these people until you start to show up as that. And then you start to text differently. And then you start to act differently. And then the vibe is off. And then suddenly it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. That included me doing the work, calling myself out on my shit, holding myself accountable, taking ownership, taking accountability, apologizing where need be, and just having really incredible, open and clear communication with people, which is how I have the relationship that I do.